Hi guys, today I'm gonna be talking about something that keeps being brought up, and not just by people around me, but just keeps being brought to mind when I think of what kind of videos I should do, what subjects I should talk about, and I just felt like this is the time to do it. I can't say that this is the only time or the one time in my life that I felt very, very connected to my beliefs, because that wouldn't be the truth. But I do feel like this is a good time to do a video like this just because I feel like I know enough about my beliefs to know why I feel the way that I do about them. I guess, if that makes sense. In any case, there's been people who have come on to my live streams or my YouTubes, and I'm sure other people in the pagan community or the witchy community or the spiritual community just in general on YouTube get this a lot, of people coming onto your videos and just, we all know how it goes. You're not following the right belief system. Do you eat children? You know what you're doing is evil, right? Yeah. So I'm sure we've all had those kind of questions come up on live streams or videos just in general. And the funny thing is that I can totally understand where those people are coming from, because I used to be in a belief system that didn't believe that what I am doing now was right. And so it's kind of silly for me to think back on that and think of what kind of mindset I was in and what my beliefs were at that time. And it just kind of gives me a different perspective on it, rather than just having no background in that at all. And before I want to get into this video, I do want to mention that at any point in this video, if I offend you or anything like that, it really isn't my intention. I'm simply trying to talk about a subject that I feel is valuable for you guys to know about me, if you're following me as a follower. But also, I just want to kind of bring up a conversation that I don't feel like really gets talked about in a mature and civil manner online. And I don't know that this will even end up being able to be discussed in that way. I do hope that it will be. I hope that we'll be able to have a conversation about this kind of stuff in a civil and respectful and grown-up manner. I will make it to where the comments are disabled if it gets too crazy. I don't feel that it's my job to justify what I do or what I believe and why I believe it, but I just kind of want to bring more awareness to why I chose the path that I did and why I changed beliefs in my life and what led me to that. And I just feel like it's something that I really want to talk about now. So I guess without rambling on, let's get into it. So I'm gonna go over a couple questions that people have asked me over the internet, over live streams, over videos, that kind of thing. So I have a little list on my notepad here that I'm gonna go over, and I'll just answer each one as I go through it. So I guess the best question to start with on this list is, what is your core belief and how would you describe it? So my belief at this point, I can't really put into a box of a religion or anything like that, just because every time I try to do that, it doesn't really fit. I don't feel like I can really put myself in a religion section, if you will. So I always just tell people that I'm a spiritualist, because that's kind of the closest that I can come to everything lining up as much as it can with a spiritual path. So I always tell people I'm a spiritualist just because it's the easiest explanation, but it doesn't really completely fit. And I don't think any religion really completely fits everybody's beliefs in general. So I just kind of tell people I'm a spiritualist. But in that case, my beliefs is, yes, I believe in aliens. Yes, I believe in God and goddesses. Yes, I believe in other dimensions. I believe in fairies and unicorns and mermaids and dragons and spirit guides, ancestors, spirits, angels, poltergeists. I mean, I'm pretty much just open-minded with a lot of things on the spiritual paranormal spectrum. So I do believe a lot of those things. Expanding from just what I believe in, I also believe that we are all very powerful beings who are able to use the energy that we have within our energy forms to help create and mold and manipulate the world around us with that energy. I believe that we have the ability to be connected to the other side if we choose to. I believe that we have the abilities to heal ourselves and others if we truly and completely believe it. I believe that we have the ability to tune into our pasts, not just in this life, but in our previous lives. I believe in past lives. I believe in reincarnation. Like I said, I believe in God and goddesses. So yes, I do believe that Jesus is real. I've talked with him and I've spent time with him. I don't believe in the one God mindset. I believe that there are many gods. I believe that we are part of that many gods term. I believe that we are all gods within ourselves as well. I believe that we have the same abilities that Jesus did, and he came down to actually teach us what we could do in ourselves, but we interpreted that as someone who was showing us their power rather than showing us our power. And just as an overall view, I think that kind of explains my belief in as detailed as I can get without getting really weird on you guys. The next question is, why did you feel drawn to the path that you follow now? I have mentioned in previous videos, and I've mentioned multiple times, that I actually used to follow the Christian Baptist spiritual path. And I considered myself to be a Christian. I went to church from the time I was a baby until I was about 18. I was kind of on the fence about Christianity up until the time that I was about 14 or 15, when I really felt like that is when I would say I was saved, like that term of being like, you just know that that is what you want at that moment. And you have this feeling that comes over your body that you just know that you've changed on some level. And so that happened when I was about 14 or 15. And that's when I really decided that I wanted to follow the Christian path. And I got baptized when I was 18. I got baptized in Lake Tahoe. And after that, everything kind of crumbled. And it wasn't because I wanted it to. It was because every time I tried to lean on the belief system that I had, it just kept failing me. And I don't mean that in the sense of, Christianity doesn't have enough strength for me, or Christianity wasn't true, so that's why it didn't work. I don't mean it in that sense. It was just, for me personally, I couldn't find the comfort that I was looking for in my spiritual depression and my mental depression that I was going through. I tried to rely on everything that I was taught in church and through my own studies of Christianity to get me through that depression, and it just made everything worse because my mindset was that I'm going through this awful time of suffering and of heartbreak and just everything like that, and I couldn't find the God that I was taught was going to help me. I just felt like there wasn't anything there for me to grab a hold of and get comfort from and get support from. And it doesn't mean that it didn't exist. I think it was just that I was pushed into a place in my life where I was forced to reevaluate why I believed what I did. And when it really came down to it, and when I really decided to follow the path that I started following now, was when I realized that every time I was in a place where I was going through what people would describe as spiritual depression, I would find comfort in knowing that I had the ability within myself to get myself out of it, and not having to rely on something else that was outside of me to give me the strength to move forward. And it's this really weird thing, and I know that everybody's different and everybody is going to find comfort in different things. So I'm by no means telling you that what you believe, if it's different than what I believe, is wrong. I just simply, in my personal path, found that I felt more comfort in knowing that I could take care of myself rather than being told that I wasn't strong enough to take care of myself and I had to rely on an outside being to help me. And so, in my belief now, I believe that I have the power to help myself and I have the power to change my life if I choose. My guides, my angels, my higher self, and my spirit guides, my spirit animals, and my ancestors are there to support me in whatever decision I make. And they're there to boost me if I need the boost, but they're not there to do the work for me. And so that's kind of what pushed me towards that path. And granted, there were other factors that played a role. I don't want to minimize the fact that the abusive relationship I was in with someone who was a spiritual leader in my church used the Bible to manipulate a situation that shouldn't have been manipulated. And that was one of the factors. But overall, when I look back on it, I think the reasons that I just listed were more of the core reasons why I strayed away from the Christianity viewpoint and more towards what I believe now. So going off of that tangent, I believe that this is probably a good time to bring up the question of, do you believe that what you do is evil? No, I don't. And the reason being is that I believe that everybody's belief, if you have one, should encourage you to be a better person, to try to better the world around you, and to better your own life as well as the lives of those around you. And I don't believe that any religion should call us to discriminate or hate or separate or put down anybody else's beliefs or their lifestyles. I don't believe that that is what any religion would want us to do. I believe that most religions that I know of, and I'm not an expert in religion, so this is really just off of what I know, I don't believe that any religion, when it comes down to the core beliefs of each one, would encourage us to really hurt people and really cause anybody pain and suffering, whether that's on an emotional, physical, or mental level. That's why, no, I don't believe what I do is evil, simply because when I do what I do, whether it's readings, healings, giving advice to someone, showing you guys how to do spiritual things, it's done out of trying to help you guys live a life that you feel happy with and that you guys feel connected with. And I want you guys to find a path, whatever it is, whether it's close to mine or close to Christianity or something completely different. I want you to feel like you are doing something in your life that you really enjoy and you feel connected to. So I don't believe that what I'm doing is evil because I feel that I'm helping people. And whether what I do helps that person in that moment or helps them down the line, I want to help people be in a place where they're happy and they're content and they're satisfied with their lives. So the next question that I get asked a lot is, are you a witch? And when I first started my channel, and even kind of semi-recently, when people would ask me that question, I would shy away from it because I never really felt like I could say, yes, I am a witch, or no, I'm not. I just felt like I was kind of in this in-between of, yes, I do witchy things, but I don't really follow the Wiccan path, and I wouldn't really consider myself a pagan, so it was a very confusing place for me. And now I would say, yeah, I am a witch. I do consider myself to be a witch, and I don't see that as a derogatory thing, and that's not the reason why I didn't want to associate myself with that. It was more so of, I didn't want someone to put me in a box if I said that, because it tends to be that if they have a name for what you are, then they tend to put you in a box associated with that. But now I'm just like, you know what? If someone puts me in a box, that's what they want to do, and that's fine. But yes, I would consider myself to be a witch. The last question that I got is, how do you stay centered when life gets crazy? And the truth is, I haven't really figured out a tried and true way of doing that. I tend to be a crazy big worrier. I worry about everything. I tend to really get into the future and worry about it way too much, and I cause problems in the present. and it just it just causes a lot of stress. And I find that when I start getting anxious and a lot of things are happening at once and I get stressed, the one thing that really helps me to stay centered as much as possible is grounding often and meditating often, and really realizing that everything has its season, everything will pass, everything will start and end at some point. And so I try to keep that in mind to keep myself from freaking out over what's happening or what I'm going through. And it can be hard. It can be really, really tough to get through those times of being like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? You know, but ultimately, all we can do is just go with the flow and really trust that whatever happens in our lives is meant to happen at that time, and we have the ability to handle whatever happens to us at that time. I also commonly question why my soul self decided to go through the things that it did when I was up there. But for some reason, you know, I decided to learn the lessons that I have learned. But seriously, like, oh my gosh, I need to have a talk with my higher self and be like, let's not do this again. Because there's some things that I'm just like, really? Really? Those were all the questions that I had on my little notepad here. So if you guys have any more questions that are in terms of this subject, go ahead and leave them in the comments down below, and I'll either compile them to make a different Q&A video, or I will just answer them there depending on how many I get. But I would like to know if you guys have any questions regarding me and my spiritual path or my beliefs as of right now. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos from me. And don't forget, if you do subscribe to my channel, to hit the bell next to the subscribe button if you want to be notified when I post a video or I go live. And sometimes it works on YouTube, sometimes it doesn't, but you might as well press it so that you'll be notified if it is working. If you have any video ideas for me, or you want to see a certain video from me, please leave it in the comments down below and I'll add it to my video making list. And I hope to see you guys soon, and I hope you guys are having a wonderful week, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye. But I feel a little bit nervous making this video. There's certain videos that when you make it, like, you have the idea in your head of, yeah, I'm gonna do this video, and then you start like sitting down to film it, and then you're just like, nerves. That's one of these videos. I try to keep that in mind to make sure. Okay, I am. I am filming. I had this freak out moment where I was just like, oh my gosh, what if I'm not filming?